it's April from April's Home, and today I thought I would share with you some fun activities that we did this past weekend. The first place that we went was another gem and rock show. We went to one earlier in the summer, and we had so much fun looking around at everything that we thought we would check out another one. There was another one local in our area, and it was really, really fun to go to. I didn't buy very many items. I just had a lot of fun looking around at different specimens, as well as going to a little fluorescent rock show. It was about 45 minutes. It was a very, very informative and educational, and we got to see some of the fluorescent rocks that have fluorescence and glow under certain lights. It was really, really beautiful and very fascinating. I also got to cut open my own geode. That was an activity that they had available at one of the booths. This geode here is known as the Mexican coconut geode from Las Choyas, Chihuahua, Mexico, which I thought was really cool. So the man that was in charge of the booth hooked it up into a cutting machine, and then he let me crank it. I will include pictures of that in my slideshow here coming up, and it cracked right in half and was so beautiful. You can see all that beautiful smoky quartz in there, and it's just shining like very, very pretty there. I was so happy when this popped open, and I was able, while I was waiting in line for my turn, I was able to see some of the other people's geodes pop open, and they were just so beautiful. Everyone was unique and different. If you ever have the opportunity to do that, I would definitely suggest it. It was really, really fun. Here's a little paper that I was given about my geode here. Mine contains 90% quartz, siderite, calcite, and hematite, and the quartz in it, he was really surprised, was smoky quartz rather than just standard quartz, which I love smoky quartz, so I thought that that was extra fun. And again, I didn't buy very many other rocks. I think that this is orange calcite. I forgot to write down the name of it, but it was really pretty and really smooth, and I just liked the look of that one, so I thought I'd add that to my rock collection. I don't think that I have any like that. And then this one was only $3, and it was just a really fun rock. This is just a dyed geode, so this is not a natural color, of course, but it looked really neat. I love the way that it sparkled, and I thought that I could use this in a craft project or a scene or something like that. So that's what I thought of when I saw this rock. So those are the rocks that I picked up at the rock show. Again, we had a lot of fun, so I thought I would share with you a short slideshow of some of the rocks and things that we saw at the rock show. hope you enjoyed taking a look at at my day at the rock show. After the rock show, the sky was so beautiful. It was a beautiful fall day, nice and bright blue sky. The weather was just beautiful, so I thought that it would be a fun time to take a walk through a pioneer cemetery. We have a lot of pioneer cemeteries in our area. Of course, we're from Oregon, so that is the end of the Oregon Trail, of course, and there are a lot of pioneers that founded this area, so it's really fun to visit some of those different historical sites. And there was one right around the corner from the rock show, so I decided to walk through that cemetery, kind of exploring it, looking at the different names, thinking about those individuals that had founded the community. So I thought that I would also share with you some of the video and pictures that I took of exploring the Pioneer Cemetery. So now I'll go ahead and share with you my trip to the Pioneer Cemetery. Hello, it's April from April's Home, and today I thought that I would come and do something that I really enjoy doing during the fall season, and that is to visit various pioneer cemeteries. So this is the Baker Prairie Cemetery, and there are a lot of really old tombstones here, as well as some beautiful trees, and you'll see some crows over here. So I just thought that I would take you along on my walk through this little cemetery and show you some of the things I see. So you can see that this is a relatively small cemetery, just a little spot here in the middle of Canby, Oregon. And it's got a lot of really old tombstones here from people born in the early 1800s and who passed away in the early 1900s, like this one here. I find these really interesting to walk through. I love history, and to me this is just part of history, kind of looking at the names and the way people were buried and some of the different tombstones and things that they've created to mark their grave site, and just to think about what life might have been a long time ago back in these days. So I just find this a really interesting activity. In Oregon, we have so many wonderful old pioneer cemeteries to walk through. And this is a little one that I drive by a lot, but I've never had the opportunity to walk through. So here's this first one here that I think is really pretty. William O. Mack. There are a lot of these little tombstones here. I think that this style is really interesting. They look like the classic tombstones that you might think of, but it's amazing that they've stood up for this length of time. And another thing I love doing is seeing what people are named. We've got here a Sarah Olive Grader, and Sarah's of course a classic name from history and to the present, and then we have cool names like Olive there. Her middle name is Olive. I just think that that's really neat. And then over here is someone named Eliza. And that definitely reminds me of, you know, the old pioneer times, somebody named Eliza, which I also think is a really neat name. So that's another thing that I love to do while I'm here, is just to kind of take a look at all the different names that I see. So that was our short walk through this cemetery here. It was really interesting seeing everyone's names and their ages, as well as just thinking about them a little bit. And it is just always such an interesting thing to do. One thing I always remember to do, of course, when I visit is to be very respectful of the space. These are people's ancestors, of course, so I always just like to be really respectful of that. But it is very interesting to just think about the history of all this. Most of these people died, again, in the late 1800s, which I think is just really fascinating. These are some of the people who founded this city and founded around this area, and I just think that that's a really interesting thing. So that is my day walking through an old pioneer cemetery here on a beautiful fall day. And I would definitely encourage you to explore an area like this in your local area if you have one like this. It's just a very interesting and nice activity to do this time of year. I also know that a lot of towns host walkthroughs and historical talks about different grave sites that would also be very, very interesting to take part in this time of year. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful fall day.